So it looks like the Rey movie is still going on after all. Well, I guess let's just have a chat about it and see what's all going on here. What's up, you guys? Welcome to Sector for Nerds. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. Always plenty of great content every single week. Nothing that you guys would want to miss out on, including here today. So let us see here what is going on. So I heard about this story like at least a week ago at this point, and then I'm like, you know what? Like, I want to make a video on it. I feel like it's a pretty big deal, right? The fact that this Rey movie is still happening, whether or not that's a good thing is a completely different subject. So let's talk about this here. Despite the fact that the fast tracking of Shawn Levy'S standalone Star Wars movie with Ryan Gosling in talks to star. That's right, I did hear about that too. Ryan Gosling was going to be in a Star Wars movie. Whoop-de-doo. The Daisy Ridley Rise of Skywalker sequel is getting another pass, this time by writer George Nolfi. I think I pronounced that right. If I didn't, I apologize. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is still attached to direct the story about Rey Skywalker. Okay, I'm going to pause it just right there for just a quick second. I love how they continue to bring in new writers, right? Like, this is now what, like the third or fourth writer they've had? But the entire time, they have kept Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy in her spot. So it just kind of makes it go, you know what I mean? And yes, she's still here to direct the story about Rey Palpatine, set after 15 years after the events of 2019's Rise of Skywalker. The plot is rumored that Rey, the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine, will oversee a school of Jedis. Jedi is singular and plural. Previous scribes on the Rey story include Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson. Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight was also making a go at it in April 2023, but stepped away in October. Yeah, they've had like so many people attached to this movie now, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm in a position where, in all honesty, like I could really care less about this movie, and it's really sad to say that as a Star Wars fan. I hope it's good. I really do, but I can't sit here saying I'm sitting here on the edge of my seat, like really excited for it, you know? Ridley told Deadline at SXSW last year that I know bits and bobs about the sequel. I know there's an introduction of new characters. I feel like that's kind of obvious. I don't know about the previous characters, and that includes her twin flame, Kylo Ren. Well, Kylo is technically dead.
Kylo Ren is dead.
And so is Ben Solo. Tune in for more news this April when Star Wars Celebration hits Tokyo. Yeah, I got a gut feeling that's where all the information's going to be coming out of. Star Wars Celebration, I think, is going to be a big time in terms of just like all the Star Wars news that we're going to get, because they've been really quiet lately, especially when it comes to like the animated division side of things, which is, again, why I have a gut feeling that they might be cooking something up over there. They've been really quiet on that front. And then maybe we'll get some more news on the Mando and Grogu movie. Maybe we'll get a trailer. We'll have to see. I think if this Rey movie would have gotten canceled, I don't think there would have been too many people complaining about it, to be honest with you. And there was kind of a part of me that was like, oh, are they going to actually just like cancel this movie? And then, you know, the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I can see this being one where like they're not going to go quietly into the night with it. Like they clearly want it to release for a reason, right? And the fact that they're still so set on making content about Rey when, in all honesty, really no one wants this. Now, of course, when I say no one, you know, because everyone's gonna be like, oh, well, I want it. Like, of course, there's always going to be people that want something, right? But what I'm saying is like the majority of people don't want this movie. If I can just quickly touch on this whole thing real quick, like the Shawn Levy'S standalone movie, because I remember that was also a big story coming out of the weekend as well. Okay, look, Ryan Gosling, you know, he was in Barbie, right? Like that was his big thing that he did recently. Like, okay, guess what, guys? I don't care what famous actor they get for a Star Wars movie or show. In the same way that I didn't care about Jude Law going into Skeleton Crew. Like, the name Jude Law meant nothing to me. The name Ryan Gosling means nothing to me, except his first name. He's got a very nice first name, but that's about it. Instead of focusing on what big actor we can get into the theater so people will come and see this, how about we just tell a good story? Wow, what a concept. How about we make a Star Wars movie or a Star Wars show actually feel like Star Wars? Sounds like a good idea to me. I put out a post yesterday talking about like all of the wins and losses that I thought that Lucasfilm has had over, since their start, right, when it comes to the film and television side of things. And I was so shocked to learn that, like, of everything that I thought I liked versus the things I didn't like, it was basically 50-50, which is like absolutely insane. Because like growing up watching the original trilogy, the prequels, the Clone Wars, like I loved all that. That stuff, like the George Lucas Star Wars, all of that, that'd be like 100% right there. But we live in this era where like I no longer enjoy all of the content that we're getting, and that's really sad. Because Star Wars has always been my bread and butter. It's the reason why I'm such a big nerd, and it's the reason why I made this channel. But like I said, man, like no matter what happens, like no matter how bad Star Wars gets, and no matter like how worse it gets, I will always like treasure the things that I do like about Star Wars when it comes to things like, everything that I just mentioned from the George Lucas era, and even things like in the Disney era as well. Like you look at things like Star Wars Rebels, I absolutely adore, and it's one of my favorite pieces of Star Wars content out there. Really enjoyed The Mandalorian, really enjoyed The Bad Batch. So it's not like there's things that I don't enjoy, but it's also just weird then having to talk about stuff in the world that I'm supposed to love that I actually don't love. I think that makes sense. Yeah, whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. Well, that's going to wrap us up for today. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others, help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.